welcome back to the podcast.
How is everyone doing? I'm doing fantastic.
That made me want to barf. I'm Kristen.
And I'm Courtney.
In case you've forgotten.
And this is Are You Triggered Yet podcast because they might have forgotten that.
Yeah.
We have a little business to do first and things we want to clear up. Go ahead.
Okay, so in podcast episode number 2, my brain fell out of my head. For when I was speaking about Greg and his daughter, it's his daughter, my stepdaughter, where I said Greg's stepdaughter. He does not have a stepdaughter. That's my stepdaughter, his daughter. Anyways, just to clear that up.
And I never caught it. Obviously, I'm not a good listener. We'll work on that. Another thing I want to clear up is on podcast episode 1, I was talking about sidereal astrology. I recently found out it's sidereal. And I've heard that name before, but I don't know. I just assumed it started with a C when it doesn't. I don't know. It's sidereal. But now I know.
Yeah.
There we go.
And if you don't know, now you know.
One more thing I'd like to say is that if you have any pelvic floor exercises, send them my way. Because I've never laughed so much since we started this, but I've also, almost peed my pants, 10 times, so.
Or send some Depends her way.
Either one will work fine. Ooh. Oh, and before we get on to, we're gonna talk about, we looked up some of the things that we, why are you making faces at me?
Because I'm, okay.
Okay. We looked up a couple of the things that Kristen had in her notes from episode 2. Before we get into that, though, I just have, a little did you know thing, because I didn't know this, and it shocked me.
To my core.
So, I found out, do you know the population of the world right now?
No.
It's 8 billion.
Okay.
I remember, my memory is obviously not correct. I remember when we were 10 that it was 2 billion. That's what I thought the population of the world still was.
I thought it was 7.7.
Yeah, so I looked it up. In 2002, it was 6 billion. I was never alive when the world was at 2 billion people.
Are you remembering a past life?
Maybe. And so I looked up when our parents were 10 years old, and even then it was 4,000.
4,000?
I mean, 4 billion. Only 4,000. They've aged.
That? So serious.
They've aged really well, guys. I didn't even notice. I think
I should have just left it at
qualified.
that and then let you correct on the next episode. Be like, guys, we have some more corrections to make.
I'm not qualified for this. Oh, okay, yeah. Do you want to get into our...
Yeah, let's just do 2 because that's all the energy I have.
Well, I have 3, but 2 of mine are super quick.
Okay. So, bone conduction. That is... Okay, so bone conduction versus air conduction. When you hear your voice in your head, you're hearing it through the air and then it resonating or vibrating off of your bones. That's why it sounds different when you speak opposed to when you're listening back to it, because you're listening back to just the air conduction.
Whoa.
So bone conduction, I guess there's headphones that you can, that have a special something that makes the frequencies lower, so they vibrate off of your bones more, and then it helps you regulate your vestibular system, which I didn't know what that was, but it's your body's balance and body awareness. And then your vagus nerve, which is your one of the nerves from the base of your brain to your gut, and it's also your nerve that stimulates your relaxation response, so the parasympathetic.
The feeling of safety.
Yeah, the parasympathetic.
Okay, that was...
The parasympathetic system. I always think of pathetic when I say that. Anyways, that's one. Very interesting.
That was a lot.
Yeah, it was.
I have to listen back to that just to
Yeah,
really
I did
soak
really
in.
just say that really quickly.
Yeah. Well, just listen again. If
Just
you missed it.
listen in slow motion.
Do you want to do your second one? Do you want me to
No.
do mine? Okay.
No.
I'll do 2 really quick then. Okay, so the first one, I looked at the float tanks. They are what I thought they were, like, after you kind of told me what they were.
Little floating tanks.
Yes, exactly. No, it's like you lay in them, and it's kind of like, it's similar to zero gravity because you're so buoyant, and then it reduces anxiety and tension. Very cool. And you can get one for your home.
What? I want one.
Yeah. I'm thinking they're expensive because I tried to find the price, and you have to, like, send them information to, like... Sorry, it's luxury item. It's
or
premium price. We don't like to use the word expensive or, like, saying I can't afford that. The second one is An End to Upside Down Thinking. That is a book by Mark Gober. It's basically about changing our perception of reality. That's why it's like upside down thinking. So it's basically just talking about how like our consciousness creates reality, not the other way around. So yeah.
Seed sounds.
It sounds like something made up.
Oh crap! I was gonna write down the website that I got this off of. What if I say it backwards and I don't have to?
There you go.
I'm just kidding. Okay. Oh, I printed. Oh my god. I am an idiot. It is off of the website Bija or DailyOhm.com.
Oh, perfect.
Mantras, and this is directly off that website. Mantras are the one. Is it mantra or mantra?
Mantra. That's what I would say.
Mantras are the.
Maybe now I'm double thinking.
I think it is mantra. I don't know why I said mantra. Praying mantras. Mantras are the one syllable.
Let us do this, okay?
Mantras are the one syllable seed sounds that, when said aloud, activate the energy of the chakras in order to purify and balance mind and body. So I printed off some examples of some for. Shreem is associated with the head and third eye. Whom destroys that destroys negativity and inspires vitality throughout the body. So there's a few different ones here. I'm not going to read them all. Maybe I'll do one each week, or you can look it up on the website for yourself.
Look it up yourself. Okay. Rectal ozone. Now we know what it is. So ozone is a gas. It's a detoxifying gas. And when you put it in your body,
and you put it in your butt,
when you get, I looked up how they get it in there, so I'll get to that. I wanted to know. I had to know. I'm like, well, how do they get this gas? So, anyways, when it's in your body, it reacts with your tissues to create these peroxides, and that's what neutralizes the toxins. It also like kills viruses and bacteria. So the website I was looking at, there's a vaginal ozone therapy and a rectal ozone therapy. So it's delivered via catheter in either the vagina or the rectum. Yeah. And then it also like has a lot of health benefits. Like it increases your energy, your metabolism.
Did you do it?
Helps your immune system. Anti-aging. Reduces pain. Treats so many diseases. I don't feel like I have a need for it.
I would totally do it.
I don't feel like I have a need for it.
Yeah,
but you also like want to do the parasite cleanses and like
Yes. So those are some of the things that I had down in my notes. So lots of fascinating information for you to forget.
Speaking of forgetting, what did we talk about in the podcast today?
Oh. Are we really going to pretend it was today?
Today, when they're listening, it's today. It's all on the same day.
Okay.
We didn't record it on the same day.
And I'm forgetting now.
Yeah.
What was the title of it? Oh my gosh.
Oh, we talked we talked about like turning
I wore purple
30.
hair.
Yeah. No, we talked about turning 30.
Yeah.
Our opinions on like starting over.
We'll have it in the description. So just read the description. And
the problem is our topics kind of go all over sometimes, and
so there's some really random things probably in every episode.
Yeah, but we really enjoyed it, and we think you're gonna get a lot out of it, whatever it is.
Whatever it is. It was really good, guys. That's why we completely forget.
We must have channeled it.
Yes. We must have. Yeah. I believe that.
Yeah. Anyways, you can find us, if you're watching the video, you can find the audio on Podbean. If you're on Podbean, you can find us on YouTube. Are you triggered yet on both of them? Yeah. Anything else for you?
Nope. Let's get into it.
We haven't showered in 5 days, manifested anyway. Every day's a payday. Wait, what the fuck did Kris just say? Messy's in the hole, I bet. Come hang out with our furry friends. Courtney's gonna leave again. Are you triggered yet?
So,
For anyone who is just listening, Kristen's wearing a purple wig. And I cannot take her seriously.
she also said that I look like Mom's hairstyle, which...
It is. She has the bangs. It's similar to that length.
That's okay.
This is what she would look like with purple hair. Now we know.
Now we know. It looks amazing. Except it would be better judgment if you put it on, since you look similar to Mom.
I know.
So this is what's coming up for me.
Okay.
I feel, who the fuck am I to be on a podcast? Am I worthy enough for... I feel like everything I'm sharing is just... I mean, there's another podcast that would share better information with people who probably don't fuck up everything they're saying, who explain things better than I explain them.
I thought you were going to point at me.
No.
First of all, we each are so unique. Like, no one has your story. No one has the lessons you've learned from your relationship, from your past experiences. And I would rather listen to a podcast where people do fuck up their words and have trouble explaining things, because we're all human. Maybe we'll get to the point where we sound flawless and wonderful, but...
And then it would be boring. So I also like
because
listening...
Because then we laugh at each other, and it's just... We're both very good at laughing at each other. That's one thing, like... I don't know. When we're in groups, we're always, like, whispering because we're just mocking each other.
Yeah, and people always think we're, like, talking about the
I
other...
do feel bad because I notice that. I'm like, I don't want to tell you what I'm saying because it's stupid, but at the same time, it's not about you, I promise.
Yeah. It's like a sister thing. Or
yeah,
best friend thing. Which everyone can probably relate to. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
But I also like listening to podcasts where people fuck up what they're saying.
Yeah.
One podcast I absolutely love is Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli. He always messes up people's names, but he laughs it off, and it's just he has such a good vibe. His energy is amazing. I love his show because of him.
I think it's really hard to feel confident, especially when you've never done something like this. Like, we've never done this before.
Yeah. I mean, we did last year. We tried. Like, we didn't try. We were doing it.
Yeah.
But I feel like looking back and thinking about the things we were recording about, it was so, like, I don't know. Like, it was authentic, but it wasn't a natural, flowy...
I was sitting so, like, rigid because
it looked like
so
she had a stick up her bottom.
It did, and I didn't actually have it, but it looked like
you didn't actually have a stick up.
I did not.
I'm glad that you clarified, because I'm sure people were definitely wondering if you actually
probably
did.
Wondering. I forget what I was gonna say.
You were rigid.
I was so uncomfortable, and over the last year, I don't know. I forced myself. I was starting to do like a business on Instagram, so I started making like stories where I would put myself on camera, and that's something I would never do.
Yeah,
like I did not like listening to my voice and not like watching myself on videos. And now like doing that, like I made TikToks, which were so much fun, and I just did it for fun, and I didn't really think about it. And like sometimes I did, but I'm like, no, like this is me putting myself out there and expressing myself in the way that feels comfortable to me. So I'd add like my quirky little things in there. And it definitely comes with practice, feeling comfortable on a camera. But like going back to what you're saying about like who are you to be on a podcast, I'm gonna bring up astrology here. You have the Leo rising. Yeah, it's Leo rising. And Leo rising is all about sharing natural gifts, but the problem is they're so natural, you don't even notice them. Like, I notice them, like, you're magnetic and other people will see them, but you're like, what do I have to offer? I'm just me. Well, like, that's it. It's you, and you might not necessarily see it. But I feel like everyone does have these natural gifts, of course.
Yeah. And everyone does share it different and unique, like you had said. And I think I just need to remember, like, we started it to have fun. Like, our conversations are always so good and deep, and we have so many aha moments. Like, literally, the first podcast episode, the last thing we said was having, like, that aha moment. I don't know if you remember.
What was it? I don't
know. Oh, about children and how, like, we teach them, like, don't question anything. And then once they're, you know, hit their 7 or 8, they don't question anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was just, like, a holy shit moment.
Yeah.
And we have those a lot. So
are you putting pressure on yourself?
I think so. Happening? I think because the first and second episode were, like, I don't know, I was able to listen to them and watch them, and I was pretty proud of them. So now I'm like, I'm not comparing myself necessarily with other people. I'm comparing to myself. Like, how... But it's not expected that we are always going to have the most amazing... Like, we'll have podcast episodes that maybe are only a half hour of...
Yeah. Whatever, like, comes through us, whatever channels through us, and then if that comes, like, we feel like it was worthwhile and it was just shorter, and that's what it'll be.
I think just remembering just to have fun. Just for the fun of it, which is another thing we were talking about. Was that in our women's leadership group? Or no, I had wrote it down and we talked about it after.
I think you came up with it.
I think... Yeah. I'm not sure if I talked about it then, but just doing things to have fun, not necessarily having an attachment to the outcome, not doing things for an end goal, just doing things to have fun.
Because then it takes the excitement out of it. Oh, going back, one last thing about the podcast and what we were talking about. I think there's a balance between like having a high standard for yourself, but also beating yourself up for not being perfect. Like, you want to, like, is this something that, like, maybe my higher self would put out? Is this, like, how she would be? Or is this something that, you know I can do better? Like, it doesn't have to be perfect, but maybe you just, like, want to be a little bit better. It's an intricate balance. What you doing over there?
I'm hot. Oh. This wind is making me very warm. So I'm just cracking a window. Sorry, guys.
What is something you do just for the fun of it?
Macrameing.
Yes. I feel like that's very satisfying for you.
It is. It's a form of relaxation for me. Like,
you're very good with your hands, though.
I'm a Gemini.
Yeah, you're very creative, good with your hands. Like, that's so...
I can't draw with a pencil, though, yet.
And yet you can paint. Like,
and I can draw anything in chalk.
Yeah.
Chalk is so easy. Like, if I'm going to be... Like, if I want to paint a word on a piece of wood, I draw the word in chalk first, and then I paint over it.
Oh, because it's easier than a pencil.
Yeah. I can't... For the life of me, can't do shit in a pencil. I can paint or use chalk.
It's so weird.
It is weird, but whatever, at least I can do those.
Yeah. That's true.
What's something that you do for the fun of it?
I started the astrology just for the fun of it. Like, I mean, I still am kind of doing it just for the fun. I'm working on making it more of, like, an actual... I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. Kind of want to make it into a business, but I know, like, I'm not quite there yet, but that is where I'm heading. So not kind of a business, it's working on becoming a business. But I started out because I've been interested in astrology, human design, like manifestation, all that stuff. But astrology is the one thing I kept coming back to. Like, I would have, like, phases where I'd be, like, so interested, then I'd kind of come away from it for a bit, but, like, still, like it. And then I'd come back to it and, like, start learning more and then leave it for a bit. But it's the one thing, like, I have a problem of jumping around from thing to thing. Like, I struggle to commit to anything. So when I find a passion, something that really lights me up that I keep coming back to, and I still keep on finding it exciting and challenging, like, I need that constant, like, stimulation.
Yeah,
like
the constant wanting to learn even
Yeah.
more and go deeper on
I
it.
need
I
to
feel
know
like
more.
once you learn everything there is to learn about it, it's kind of like, well, there's the fun out of it. Like, for me, like, painting and stuff, like, there's always more I can learn and different
landscapes.
Yeah, just
people,
playing around, even just trying.
different pictures of surfing for her sister.
Yeah. I did paint an amazing picture of her dog.
Oh, it was so good. I love it. It's my favorite.
It's cute. And it's hard because he's a black dog. So you can imagine what it's like to get, like, you know, the eyes and have it so there's depth and it's not dumb looking.
So it looks realistic. So that's the problem with like human design. Yeah, there is so much to it. But what I like about astrology is that, like, the transits are, like, the stars and planets are all still moving around, and, you know, things are changing. We have our chart, but then the way that the planets are moving, it affects certain areas of a chart. So there's always, like, new challenges, new things coming up. Like, human design, there's so much to learn, but it's very, like, static. Like, your energy, like, this is the picture and it doesn't change. It's very fascinating, but I feel like also it takes a very long time to get past the basics of, like, your type, I guess that's what it is, type, like, your authority and, like, your strategy. So, like, once you figure all that out, and that takes a while, then you can move on to the next stuff. Where I don't know, I feel like with astrology you can kind of bounce around a little bit more. You don't have to be, like, efficient in one area to be able to move on.
Yeah. I feel like both are very... There's a lot to learn to feel comfortable, even... I don't know, I'm not even at a place where I can comfortably read other people's charts, which is funny because I always want to look and I always want to know. And then I'd always be like, Courtney, can you please, like, read this, like, human design chart for my friend, or just give me, like, a lowdown of what is going on?
I was the same way. Like, before I started, like, understanding it, we would look at people's charts in the human design, we're like, oh, that's so interesting. And they'd be like, why? I'm like,
I don't know.
But it is. Like, you know that it's interesting, but you don't know how to define it or exactly what makes it interesting. But anyways, that's what I started doing just for the fun of it. And I'm like, I just want to read people's charts because now I'm learning more. I know more about the houses. I'm like, I want to practice it and see how it develops and grow that way. So I started doing that, and it just became, like, I'm just, like, so excited about it. So, like, I made, like, an Instagram account for it. And at first, like, I had the same thing. Like, who am I to call myself an astrologer? Like, I haven't done the training yet, like, all these things. But I'm gonna remind myself, I started because I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it, and I can learn the things that I'm learning, and I can share them on there. It doesn't have to be anything. It can just be how I express what I'm learning, and I love to teach astrology. Like, I love to teach people the certain areas of the chart and what everything means, not just give you, like, an overview, like, give you, like, what each piece means so you can fully understand it, because that's what I like.
I definitely want to read your breakdown of each of the houses.
Oh yeah, I need to redo my little document. But yeah, I will send that to you. I also am doing, like, documents about each, like, sign and the planet, and there's a lot, but it's so good. Is there anything else that you do just for the fun of it?
I do a lot of shit just for the fun of it.
I know, me too.
I'm like, oh, do you really want me to name everything?
My life,
Putting on a wig just for the fun of it.
But, like, I value fun and, like, freedom and, like, doing what I want. And sometimes it's, like, I gotta realize that I have to be an adult at times.
I collect rocks. What says just for the fun of it? Other than collecting rocks.
That is a very good point.
I mean, I do have some really cool ones, and from all the different states, so... Not that I know specifically which ones came from which state, but there's a few very distinct ones that I know which state they're from.
What was your favorite state to collect rocks?
New Mexico. Mexico, Utah, maybe. Texas has really good ones. Oh, shit. What is that one? North Carolina has really sparkly ones. There's one state that starts with an M. It's not Minnesota. Missouri.
I was going to say that one.
Yeah, Missouri.
You need to go to Haida Gwaii.
I am still upset.
I know. I left some rocks and shells that I collected there. Like, they're still there. I left a few things there, and she really wanted me to bring them back. And I only left with, like, a very small...
Like 2 feet and a heartbeat.
I had a little more than that. I didn't have a vehicle at that time, and I was getting a ride with a friend, so I didn't want to take everything.
Did you bring your winter coat home? I was thinking about that last night.
I don't have any winter stuff right now. None.
Is he sending it?
I have a hat. No, like, when I left Tofino, I donated it all.
Oh.
I tried to sell it, but no one wanted it. My coat was really dirty. It's because I was not expecting... Honestly, this was my plan. When I was in Tofino, I was gonna go up to... Actually, I wasn't sure if I was gonna go to Haida Gwaii because it was so kind of far away. But I was gonna drive back across Canada, visit my family here, and then I was gonna drive down the east coast of the States and be in, like, the southern states for the winter. That was my goal. Because I was gonna buy a van, but that didn't happen. And then I was gonna, like, come back up through, like, Utah, Arizona, Wyoming, Montana.
The West Coast.
Then come back down the west coast of the States.
I think Mexico's one of my favorite states. The slogan on the state sign is the land of enchantment. Like
it is?
Yeah. Oh. Like, I'm literally stealing that for my enchanted forest slogan.
The forest of enchantment. It's kind of redundant, though.
The land of enchantment.
I like it.
I'm stealing
it. In twin brackets. Not New Mexico.
Why is it ringing through?
Maybe this is the second time he's called.
Oh, no, it's still on the day. Okay. I texted him. Anyways.
I was gonna say, I sent her a video when I was on, I think I sent it to you when I was on Haida Gwaii, and there was this beach where it was just these beautiful rocks. It was just so beautiful. It was like at sunset too. It was majestic. I have a question for you. So, I'm turning 30 this year. You're
30, flirty, and thriving.
Of course. What other way to be? And then you are 31. But would you tell yourself turning 30, or like what advice would you have for me? I feel like I know your thoughts on turning 30. I'm gonna see if I'm right. You don't think it's that big of a deal?
No, I was fucking so excited to turn 30.
Yeah, but like not big of a deal in a bad way.
No, I think it's amazing.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Turning 30 was like, I didn't even do anything for my 30th birthday because it was also the year that Greg and I were getting married, so I didn't want to plan like a big 30 birthday party when I was also having everyone come out for my wedding, and everyone was already helping to do so much for that. So I still loved turning 30. And I know my one friend, she was like, oh, I'm turning 30. I'm like, that is amazing. And I totally shifted the way she looked at it. And then she was talking to me like a month after, and she was like, oh, I'm so excited. I'm like, ah.
So what did you say to her? That is such a common thing. I also feel the same way, where I've been excited. It has changed a little bit, which I can get into, but I have in the past mostly I've been excited to say like, oh, I'm 30. Like, I'm really excited about that. But like, what did you say to change her mind?
I think it was like 30, flirty, and thriving. Literally. I say that anytime someone says they're turning 30. Like, to me, you're not an adult until you're 30. Like, when you say like, oh, I'm 20 something, it's like, oh, you're still a baby.
You're still a child.
But as soon as you're 30, it's like you are a legit citizen. People take you seriously. I feel like people honestly take me more seriously now that I'm 30. Or maybe it's just like that energetic shift I felt turning 30 that people took me more seriously because I took myself more seriously.
Because like, now I'm 30, let's
what
do
came
this.
first? The chicken or the egg?
Oh.
The gourd or the gourd? That's a reference to our first episode. If you haven't listened, definitely go listen.
Oh my god, that's so funny. I heard something where it was like, in your 20s, you kind of search for what you want your life, search for how you want to live your life or something, or maybe it's your purpose, search for your purpose. Your 30s is when you find it. Your 40s is when you are like living it, and then your 50s is when you're like more, I don't know, you're past that. You're happier, I guess. But you can still be happy during the journey too.
Or maybe when you're sharing how you teaching it. I don't know. That's what
not everyone's meant to be a teacher.
Yeah,
but
I think that's what I will end up being.
A teacher?
I think I will be teaching. I think it's part of my path.
Me too. I have no idea how. It can take so many different forms.
Mm-hmm.
What was your advice for me then? So I already know, like, I'm excited, but like, what is your advice for me?
I don't know if I have any. Getting older is amazing. Every year you're gaining more knowledge and wisdom, and you're learning and experiencing so many different things, and you should celebrate getting older. You can't take me seriously because my wig. Are my bangs all messy?
No, they're okay.
Thank you. I don't know. I think another reason I don't look at aging as something scary is because I think there's a lot of, I flippin' hate when people say to me, "Oh, just wait till you're 40." I'm like, fuck off. Like, I'm not going to say that because I'm going to age saying that. If you believe you are aging, you will age that much faster.
Yeah. I had so many people tell me, like, after 25, it's downhill. 25.
That's so
That's when
sad.
that's obviously those people have peaked. Like, they have no desire to change and grow. Like, they're like, oh, I'm done learning, I'm done growing, this is my life now. It's like no, our life is about constantly learning.
And then
it's always growing.
It's like people saying, like, oh, I don't know, just complaining about getting old and how they're, oh, sucks getting old.
Yeah.
I will never, ever, ever in my life say that. And I'm sorry I just got so loud. I'm just very passionate. I will never say those things.
I'm very excited. I like getting older.
Me too.
I've liked it. I don't know. I didn't have, like, the greatest time during, like, school or anything. So maybe that's why I'm, like, now that I can be on my own, I can pick who I spend time with. I can pick how I spend my time, which I really
you're not being
really
forced to go learn about things you have no fucking interest in. I hated school. I couldn't wait to get out of school. And I remember I know so many people who are like, oh, I'd give anything to go back to high school. I'm like, I would rather, there's a lot of things I'd rather do than go back to high school, and I'm not going to say those on the pod.
Yeah. So, like I said, I have been, like, super excited about turning 30, except for last month has shifted a bit because, things have changed in my life where I kind of hit a rock bottom. I've hit many. It kind of gets old. But there's
That's why
always...
I collect rocks.
From all the bottoms. So good. I love that for you. But I kind of hit a rock bottom, and I just had a lot of realizations that I'm not where I want to be, and like over the last year, I think I was able to really distract myself from that because I was traveling, I was meeting new people, doing new things, but I wasn't building anything. I wasn't going anywhere besides, like, physically new locations, but I wasn't, like, creating anything sustainable in my life. So then I reached a rock bottom and, like, oh, well, now I kind of have to put in that time. Like, I have no regrets. I don't regret anything, to be honest. But you know, now I realize that, like, I have to put in the time, I have to put in the effort, and I have the space to do it, so now's the time. But I'm also, like, I'm living with my sister now, no offense, but, like, it's, like...
It's an enchanted fucking forest.
It's a sanctuary. Or a compound, depending on who you ask.
Yeah, my husband calls it the compound, which I used to call it that too.
So funny.
But, like, we love the compound. We don't ever want to leave the compound.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so, like, I don't want to get into too many details, but I haven't really, I'm not really want to be, and I think I'm just realizing that, and I want a life where I can maintain that travel, but I'm not there yet, so I have to create something that allows me to do that, and, I start comparing myself to other people who are my age, or in their early 20s.
Yeah,
who are millionaires. It's like, what?
Like, they're, like, New York Times best-selling author.
Oh, yeah. Or, like, they're in Forbes.
Forbes is so overrated, guys. Just kidding.
But,
like, put me in there someday, maybe. No. I have no desire for that.
I don't think it's something I'm gonna work towards, but I mean, if it happens, it happens. I don't know. But then, yeah, then I get into the mindset of, like, I'm comparing, but this is my journey, and that was their journey. Like, we have different paths.
And
like,
those people are probably gonna age faster and look worse because they believe they're gonna age faster, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm 30!
I doesn't mean they automatically believe that.
Believe what?
That they age faster.
No, that's not something. That's just if they believe they're aging, they will age faster. It speeds it up.
Yeah, I know, but you're, like, implying that everyone who's...
A lot of people aren't aware.
That is true. There are a lot of people, but there's not people that are. I feel like people
Probably
in, like,
two.
the spirituality world, or spiritual world. Anyways, where was I going with that? I always lose my train of thought. I do apologize. Oh yeah, but, like, that's their journey. This is my journey. Like, they're gonna have their own challenges, and maybe their challenge is something that is easy for me, and, like, my challenge is something that is easy for them. But, like, when I look at the big picture, I'm like, oh my god, I'm behind. Not the big picture, but when I, like, kind of zoom out and looking at everyone else, I'm like, I'm behind. But then when I just, like, focus on my own path and, the life that I've had, and maybe I haven't been able to do everything that I wanted to do in the past, or, like, I gave away my power for many years, but I don't have any regrets because I learned everything I was supposed to in the way that I was supposed to. I had amazing relationships, met the most incredible people. I got to experience things that, I might not have otherwise. So I'm, like, I don't regret that. So it's like, why am I comparing myself when I don't have any regrets and I'm happy with the way my life has gone, and I'm not where I want to be yet, but, like, I've had a great life so far. I've had so many moments where I'm like, if this is it, I've had a great life. Like, this has been perfect.
I know, I don't really feel... I think I just want to have, like, a wellness center and a place where I can heal and do, like, host retreats. And when I say a place, I mean here, obviously. And, like, sell fun things that I make on the side, the things that I do just for fun, because who the fuck needs 10 birdhouses in their
They're
kitchen?
so cute, though.
I made a Mexican restaurant
my
one, guys.
favorite.
It's so cool. It even has a little cactus on the front, made out of concrete.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. What is your thoughts on starting over? I have a lot of thoughts about it because I've started over a ridiculous amount of times.
What do you mean starting over?
Like, you kind of feel like you're starting from scratch. I don't know if maybe, for me, it's always like once I hit a rock bottom, I'm like, oh my god, like, starting over, like, in a new place. I don't really know how to describe it now. I always feel like I'm starting over, though, like,
I guess, but I guess
career-wise,
I feel like I haven't started over since I met Greg. I think that was
you've just built from there.
Yeah, like, I'm always evolving, growing, and changing, and he's been in a relationship with 4 or 5 different women in the time that we've been together. I mean, me. because I've changed.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, just so you know.
They're in an open relationship, guys.
We're not. Absolutely not. Not for me.
Oh.
My stomach keeps growling at me. Just in case you guys hear it.
I did not hear it, actually. Maybe the camera picked it up, though.
The camera?
It's an X-ray vision camera. Anyway, moving on. What was that?
That was the X-ray vision of my stomach.
Okay.
What did you think it was?
I didn't know.
Kristen's just having a little moment. We'll just give her...
We're both having a moment. Let's just start over. Go back. Let's just start over.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
We have done that with our
a couple
podcast,
times.
so you definitely should check out our YouTube blooper.
Yeah, we're
video.
definitely gonna make more because
they're hilarious.
We've had a couple videos that we've given up. I don't want to say given up on, but we weren't up to par. So, and they had good moments in them. So we'll definitely
and
create
by
more.
good, we mean ridiculously humorous.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I feel like I do have a lot of thoughts about starting over because there's so many times where I've I don't know, especially with careers, I've had so many different jobs and I've, tried to start a couple businesses or I've done a creative project and then I stopped and then I have to introduce a new one to everyone.
Yeah.
And, is everyone sick of me yet?
I know, I feel like, yeah, I actually just archived all of my videos I shared about health and stuff. And it's not that I don't believe those things, it's just those videos are not who I am today. I'm so much different than that person, but I feel like I almost need to just archive the whole thing.
Got it.
But then I'm yeah, I don't know, I think it will take me, I'm not ready yet.
Maybe it's because we are changing so quick.
Mm-hmm.
We're always learning and growing, so we're constantly in that dearth and the death and rebirth
The dearth
process. The death and rebirth process. So we're constantly grieving these old versions, and then we're starting with this new version. So it does kind of it feels like, for me anyways, it's starting over every time I become someone new. But I feel also that is coincides with my, I don't know how to word this. My material possessions. I've had. So my ex and I, we lived in a house together. Then I moved out, and I was here for a bit, but then I was living out of my car for a while.
Camping. She wasn't just,
yeah,
I didn't kick her out, fuck you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I went camping and didn't come back.
Yeah.
And then so basically I was living out of my car, and then I was, I did have some staff accom when I was in Tofino. So
you had a what?
Staff accommodation.
Oh my god.
Sorry,
I'm not up with the lingo. I'm a homemaker. I make homes for birds and raccoons.
Oh my goodness.
They're luxury though.
They are. It's very true. Yeah, so I went from a house to a car, and then I ended up selling, donating, just giving away to friends. So I was only carrying things. So from Tofino to Haida Gwaii, I only had stuff that I could carry. So then I was constantly getting letting go of that attachment to things, which was very hard. So I was always feel I'm starting over, but giving everything up, and then so that was hard. But it was always I chose to do that. I chose to give these things up. I chose, every time I've done it, it has been a choice. So it was hard, but I think it was really good because I got rid of a lot of things. You don't realize how much that you actually don't need,
and how much you accumulate in such a short amount of time. I will declutter every spring and fall, and by the next season, every spot that had extra space, you always find something to fill it.
Exactly.
It's annoying.
All those thrift store finds.
I've really been going crazy at thrift stores. Yeah, I would like to point out this gorgeous blanket that I got for $4.50.
$4.50?
It's amazing. Like,
That's too much. $4, yes. 50 cents, no.
Okay. It's perfect. That's why I'm like, I need to have it. I love it.
Very cute. I feel like so many people have issues with, like, material possessions. It's such, like, I think we talked about this in the first podcast, where, like, you put your identity in what you have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Your identity. Which
Your
I'm going to say on
identity.
every podcast episode, because I know I mentioned it in the second one.
Yeah. I am so grateful for the lessons that I've learned around material items, but also, like, spirituality. Aging, though, let's go back to aging, though. Because I have been in the mindset where, like, oh my god, like, when I'm around, like, 22-year-olds, let's say, I'm like, oh my god, I'm so much older, oh my god, like, we're so different, like, you know, they don't know that, I don't know, whatever. But when I went to Defino...
Does it not make you appreciate being your age? Because I'm like, thank gosh. Thank gosh.
But in a way, it does, because I have had a lot of experiences, like, being married and stuff, and I've experienced a long-term relationship.
Marriage and divorce.
But also, no, because I feel like I was behind. So I'm like, all these 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds are, like, so confident. You know, they're traveling the world. And I'm, like, still kind of scared. And I've definitely grown more confident. But I'm a lot better now. But when I first got to Defino, my friends, they kept me in check. Always, every time I'd point something out by their age, like, age doesn't matter. Age is nothing. And I'm like, you're so right. I'm like, thank you. So they're always calling me out whenever I said anything age related. So now every time I think, I still naturally think these things, but now I'm calling myself out. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. And I have called other people out for it now, which is good.
I think that was a huge thing for me to overcome when I met Greg. So my husband is 17 years older than me. And, you know, I had to, you know, deal with, I don't know, what I felt like was a lot of judgment. And, you know, I really had to earn people's trust. And it took a lot longer than it would have had I been around the same age as him, is what I feel. I think everyone was kind of thinking, oh, she's, like, this is just a, excuse me, a fling, and I'm gonna get bored and leave. You can't get bored with someone who's constantly a 12-year-old child that you never know what he's gonna do next.
It's so true. You know how sometimes you think that you need a relationship to be, like, opposites to balance each other out? This is not the case. So, like, you guys are both very, like, outgoing, energetic, childlike, hilarious. They're both Leo risings. And together, like, it works, and it's perfect. Where, like, you would think that, oh, someone who's, like, off the wall needs someone to help calm them down. It's like, no, like, this is, it's like you encourage that side of yourself instead of feeling like you're too much, or, like, you know, because I'm not like that. Like, you're the most like that in our family. So it's like, now you have someone else that gets you, can understand you.
We're literally gonna go to a mine and look for crystals this next weekend.
You guys are my favorite.
I'm so excited. We've been talking about going to this mine for years. So,
where is
I'm not telling. I'll tell everyone when I get back and I have my crystals.
I'm pretty sure I've been by it. Am I wrong? No, there was one I drove by before.
In South Carolina.
No, never mind. there is one that I drove by, and I remember you guys asked me if I stopped there.
Oh, it was probably up north.
I think by Thunder Bay.
Yeah. I think there's amethyst mines up
there.
Yeah,
that was it.
I don't know if you can go digging at them. Probably.
I think you can. Don't quote me on that.
I think I can.
Well, that's all I have to say.
Yeah. Anyways. Any last thoughts?
Anything else you would like to discuss? Like, whose wig are you wearing? Who are you trying to be?
My inner child.
I liked your idea of being Lane Kim from Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, if you guys know anything about Gilmore Girls, which I feel like there's very few people who watch the entire series over and over like I did.
You don't
Like,
think people have?
No, I think maybe a few, but not many.
Oh, it's so good.
It was so good. It was like no drama. It wasn't
It
like
had a bit of drama.
a bit of
Mother-daughter drama, but not like... And when she stole the boat. Spoiler alert. But not like watching like the OC, which I do like, and One Tree Hill. I do like those shows. But they're... Oh, 90210. Like the new... Like the recent one, not the older version. It was so dramatic. I always felt so anxious while watching it. And I was like... Just... Bleh, I did not feel good. Like when the one girl, she was like hiding this deep secret of a bad thing she'd done, and I'm like, I can't handle this. I mean, I watched the whole thing, but still, it was very hard.
You're probably storing trauma in your body from watching
Probably,
it.
I should go dance it out.
I should
I haven't
record.
danced in a while. No, I'm not a good dancer.
I could teach you to shuffle.
I know how to shuffle. It takes me a minute to like remember how to do.
I want to do a video of me and Ava shuffle, like making up a routine.
Yeah.
It'd be so fucking cute.
She's so good. She's 9 years old. She's
a little prodigy.
She's a really good shuffler.
She watched because she seen me shuffling at mine and Greg's wedding. And then she taught herself how to shuffle by watching TikTok videos, which is actually how I taught myself.
That's how you did it.
Yeah. And it's adorable.
Okay, ever since we started this manifestation journey or spiritual journey, whatever you want to call it, like the last couple years, we've really changed. Just going back to like the TV thing, what we put into our subconscious, like we're so much more aware of it. Like not watching those TV shows for first of all, and then also like the music and like the news. Oh my god,
I can literally feel if it's a song. Like, if Greg's listening to a song, and I can instantly feel my energy shifting. And, like, it's just downshifting.
It's Jake break.
Yeah, it's Jake break. It's not how it sounds.
And then I read a boundary book the other week, and as soon as I was, like, in it and understanding it, like, my music shifted again. Like, I couldn't listen to things. I'm like, this person has no boundaries. I cannot deal with this.
I literally listen to music that is just like electronic, but with like really cool instruments like I don't know what, the harp. I like the harp, but it has a beat, and then I guess it's called lo-fi. I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah, I like that.
Or I've been listening to Spanish music.
Oh yeah. I like when you can give it its own meaning.
Yeah.
There's
or it'll like
Russian.
have words that I can just make up English words to it, which don't even
yeah.
make sense, but it sounds like that could be what she's saying if it was in English.
Yes.
It's fun.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's really important to like be aware of what you're listening to, what you're watching.
Yeah, what is going into your subconscious, especially when a song gets stuck in your head.
Oh, that's the worst. I'll have like a song that it's like it's horrible, or it's like, you know, a song where like the artist is giving away all their power to like the love of their life or whatever, but like this person obviously doesn't respect them, and I'm like, why is this stuck in my head? This is not what I want to call in. Like,
I love it when my morning affirmations get stuck in my head, and then I'm just like doing something and it's just like on repeat.
Yeah.
Or those songs by that one. I need to like remember who this artist is.
It's Moonlight
Scorpio?
Yeah.
Moonlight Scorpio. Amazing song. So high vibe and great lyrics to get stuck in your head.
I want to write songs. I started writing like a bit of poetry that was about manifestation, but like I want to write songs that are, you know, that you would be proud to put into your subconscious. You know? But I'm not quite there yet. Maybe someday. I'll work on that.
We could do it too.
Oh, we do want to write songs though about what we're manifesting, right? Yeah, or like our affirmations that we're using. Let's write our own songs for that. I mean, you do that anyways. Pretty much just sing. She sings all day long, guys. And sometimes it's the most annoying songs ever.
I know. I don't know where they come from. Deep in my subconscious,
They're
obviously.
still there.
Oh my gosh.
How do you get rid of that?
Can you detox your brain from subconscious songs that are just stuck in your memory bank?
I don't know. I feel like my memory bank is small. I would like to grow it, but I feel like right now it's small, so hopefully there's not too many in there. I gotta stop manifesting a bad memory.
Yeah, you and Mom both.
Yeah, we're so bad. We're always like, oh, I have such a bad memory. But it's like, I'm trying to explain something to you. It's like, not that I don't care, just I don't remember.
I can tell when my memory is worse when I'm not getting a good sleep. Like, I have a really difficult time recalling things I want to say or thinking of words. But last night, I slept so good.
That's good. I did not. My mind was racing about astrology as it usually does. Any last thoughts?
Nope, that'll be all. Thank you for
Okay.
tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, right now
Rate
you
us
can,
4 stars.
Right now you can find us on Podbean for the audio version, YouTube if you're just listening to this.
That's the opposite.
Yeah, you can find us on YouTube if you're listening.
Oh.
Because they're not watching the video, they can find the video.
Oh. Oops.
And if you like the audio, Podbean.
And if you don't like either, don't forget to rate us 4 stars and leave us a review. A good one, I mean.
Obviously.
Okay.
Okay. Well, chaturanga, dude.
Chaturanga.